1816 plow. It's hard to figure out a single individual who came up with the idea of plowing equipment, and it's equally difficult to say that the plow didn't change the course of human history. Early humans were essentially farmers and hunter-gatherers who devoted their lives to find food and ensure survival. Their modern counterparts have found new ways to sustain life, and their needs have also improved from just eating to demanding comfort as well as luxuries. Plowing, at least for our ancestors and farmers, removed the necessity to live a nomadic life. The seemingly simple idea of plowing allowed our ancestors to have a steadier way of life, collect and store foods, and develop civilizations in the area they resided. Because plowing continued to improve, they managed to harvest more foods than they needed, leading to the thought of trading. Refrigerator. Until the early 20th century, ice and snow were natural elements used to help preserve foods and medicines. Ice-making machines were available, but mainly used in large factories and breweries. Home refrigerators became typical household appliances in the 1920s, following the development of environmentally safe chemicals used to refrigerate. The ability to keep food at a cold temperature revolutionized the food industry and eating habits. Refrigerated trucks also made sure that all food would be delivered in desirable condition. It is certainly convenient to have easy access to fresh meats, vegetables, and fruits every single day, even if there isn't a farm nearby where you live. 18. Remote communication. It doesn't seem right to merge the inventions of the telegraph, the radio, and the telephone into a single item, but they all were based on the same idea of having remote communication. Since Samuel Morse developed his electric telegraph in 1836, communication technology has come a long way to get to where it is now. Transmitting signals through electromagnetic waves was a brilliant concept that Nikola Tesla and Guglielmo Marconi developed and popularized in the early 20th century. The transmission of sounds and images became possible from simple signals or commands like a remote control. The invention of television brought hours of entertainment still used today to every home with live broadcasts. Fast forward several decades, and the internet came along. Now you can have a video call with great audio and image clarity. The possibility to communicate with someone else millions of miles away allows for easy, quick information delivery, whether in scientific research, international politics, trade, or even war strategy. 19. Contraceptives. Contraceptives benefit human civilization in a simple way, but have profound effects. With fewer mouths to feed, every family has achieved a higher standard of living and can provide for each child they have more sufficiently. In many countries where contraceptives are used and readily available, the average number of offspring per woman has drastically reduced. Birth control has slowly yet steadily helped prevent unprecedented and potentially dangerous rapid population growth globally. Certain types of contraceptives, such as condoms, are effective at preventing sexually transmitted diseases as well. People have used various forms of contraceptives, including those made of only natural substances. Condoms have been used since the 18th century, while the contraceptive pill came into use in the 1930s, the brainchild of Russell Marker. Birth control remains an exciting field of study, and new methods are continually being developed. 20. The Gregorian calendar. Created by Pope Gregory XIII in 1582, the Gregorian calendar is the most widely used civil calendar today. It was intended as a revision to the Julian calendar. It jumped ahead 10 days in an effort to synchronize world time with the 4 seasons. 21. Archimedes' screw, 3rd century BCE. A rotating corkscrew designed to bring clean water from the source to a relatively distant location was one of the world's first effective water pumps made by Archimedes. The idea still lingers in many irrigation systems and wastewater treatment facilities worldwide. 22. Pasteurization. It may sound obvious, but back in the 1800s, nobody understood that germs or microorganisms could invade living hosts such as humans or animals. We soon understood that microorganisms were living organisms existing anywhere, including in the air humans breathe. Both were the works of Louis Pasteur based on the theories proposed by many others. One of the first and most practical implementations of the theory was the pasteurization method to sterilize bacteria in wine, milk, and beer. 23. Alphabet, 1st millennium BCE. The alphabet was developed over the course of hundreds of years by many people in many places, including ancient Egyptians, ancient Greeks, ancient Romans, ancient Hebrews, and even ancient Chinese. Alphabetization came to the surface around the 1st millennium BCE. It took 1,000 years for the world to make a universal alphabetical order that kids in today's elementary schools can memorize quickly. Alphabetization has made everything much more searchable. 24. Clock. The obelisks constructed by ancient Egyptians around 3500 BCE were among the earliest models of shadow clocks. The sundial also came from Egypt about 2,000 years after. Both were great representations of the timekeeping instruments we use now. 25. Airplane. Just like the invention of the automobile, airplanes combine multiple brilliant ideas, including wheels and steam turbines, into a single sturdy vehicle. Beyond the engineering magnificence, the airplane transformed our view into something larger, wider, and broader. It has changed the way we travel and the manner of warfare. 26. Domestication of horses. About 6,000 years ago, when horses were on the brink of extinction, people of the steppes of Ukraine found ways to domesticate the animals. After that, and to some extent, horses played major parts in the repopulation of Europe. Their significance also touched many aspects of civilization, including trades and communication. Warfare also changed thanks to horses as the animals increased the level of exploration, as well as violence, to an astounding level. All in all, horses helped spread the seeds of the greatest cities in Europe and Asia. 27. Neolithic Revolution. Wide-scale human culture transition does not happen often, but it did occur at least once during the Neolithic Revolution, in which people abandoned their previous nomadic lifestyle as hunters-gatherers and moved into the steadier lifestyle with farming. They found methods to grow crops more systematically, allowing them to collect foods repeatedly from the same location. 28. Scientific method. Asking the right questions and providing evidence gathered from experiments has brought us to a better understanding of the world, everything in it, and some things beyond it. The scientific method requires everyone to propose theories and ideas that make sense. If you have to question others' ideas, you must also give undeniable evidence to prove that your theories are better or more accurate. This is how science works, and everybody can contribute. 29. Hay. In Rome and Greece, hay was not even a thought. Only those civilizations who live in warmer regions of the world could keep their horses well fed, thanks to grazing. During winter, when grass was scarce, horses would die, and you couldn't develop any form of urban civilization without horses to help you travel, trade, communicate, and distribute goods. At some point during the time we now call the Dark Ages, somebody invented hay so that anybody could store grass for the difficult times in winter. By a stretch, hay was an important invention in developing many great cities such as Paris, London, Vienna, New York, and Moscow. 30. Soap. Northern Scotland came up with the first indoor toilet in 3000 BCE. Around the same time, the ancient Mesopotamians started to realize the importance of hygiene to maintain good health and came up with the idea of cleansing soap made of animal fat and wood ash. 31. Radio long-distance radio transmission is an essential piece of technology for modern life. The communication system resulted from continuous development by many people, but the first workable radio apparatus was the brainchild of a single Italian, Guglielmo Marconi. He devised this wireless telegraph system in 1895. 32. Sailboat. Ancient Mesopotamia, 6000 BCE. The Ubaid culture of ancient Mesopotamians occupying present-day Iraq was the first to use sailboats for transportation around 6000 BCE. They traveled to cross the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, around which the culture was born and developed. 33. Language. There is no single clear point when and how language started to develop. Humans' ability to invent and use many forms of language, verbal, written, body language, codes, symbols, is arguably the most powerful force behind civilization. We use it to communicate ideas, feelings, emotions, war strategies, and intentions. Without understandable language, people would not be able to cooperate and negotiate their terms. Simply put, we probably wouldn't survive this long without language. 34. Hydraulic engineering. In the late 19th century, hydraulic engineering solved a major problem, bringing fresh water into homes and sending sewage away from settlements. Although sophisticated waterworks existed earlier in ancient Rome, hydraulic engineering greatly improved wastewater treatment and sanitation in general. Infectious diseases caused by contaminated water were greatly minimized, so countries like the United States and Britain could develop better. 35. Religion. To this day, we have no consensus on what constitutes a religion. We know that it may be comprised of worldviews, ethics, organizations, prophecies, life after death, supernaturalism, spiritual beings, and cultural systems. There are more than 4,000 religions in the world today. Based on that, people of different beliefs must worship thousands of gods. The impact of religion on human civilization is wide-ranging, from marriage rules to a country's constitution.